Hey guys, welcome back to the Man Cave. I'm Shannon, and today I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I've been helping out a few of my friends with their video editing and thumbnail editing and whatnot for their videos. So I thought I would go ahead and make a video on how I edit my videos, how I piece them together, mainly when there's narration, as seems to be popular nowadays. So what I'm working on here is a video for my Psychology of the Unknown channel about a serial killer, and I've already recorded the narration. As you can see, it's a little over 6 minutes long. I did all the research and everything, wrote the script, did the narration. As you can see, what I did was I record and edit at the same time. So I recorded this part first, the preview style, right before the intro. Okay, so I did that. I inserted the intro right here, and then I record the rest of the narration. I do it in bits and pieces. I have my script separated into paragraphs so it's easier, and I'll record from the beginning of one paragraph to the end, and then I'll edit that, and then I'll pick up where I left off and record that paragraph. And so I'm left with this. Now what I do is, as you can see, there's a lot of breaking points in here, and the reason for that is because when I find a spot that has some dead air, maybe I took a longer breath, relaxed my jaw a little bit in between talking, in between sentences, I'll edit that out, and I'll cut it from the end from where I stopped to maybe just a little bit after where I stopped to where I pick up again. So that's why there's all these edit points. Okay. Now what I do is, first and foremost, once I begin the process of narration, I'll stop and I'll come over here to where it says FX. Okay. Press FX, and this is where you have all your settings and everything for when you record. So for this, we'll start with the very beginning. Track noise gate. This is what I have it set up as. Okay, you got the threshold level, the attack time, the release time. Then you move on to track EQ. I really have no change in the track EQ. Okay. These are kind of presets anyway. Then here's the track compression, and this is what I've got the settings as. And if you guys know of a better way to better settings for the mic, let me know. I've been finagling around with these audio settings for quite a while, and I can never seem to get it just right. But this is how I've got it set here. And then we move on to the volume, and you see I have it all the way up. Amplitude modulation. Then we have the resonance filter, the graphic EQ, which is 10 band. Here's how I've got it. And that's it for those settings. But what I also do is I come down to the control panel, and then I'll go to hardware and sound, recording. I'll click on the microphone I'm using, go to levels, and right now I've got it set on about 85, because any more and it was just too loud. I'm sure I could have probably set it on 88 to 90 and it still would have been okay, but I didn't want to run the risk of having it go too high whenever I increase my voice. So then you click apply and OK. So then now we're ready to begin adding in the images. And so first thing I want to do which I'm going to go ahead and stop this video. I'll piece it together later. But first thing I want to do after I stop this is I need to go onto the internet and find the images that I want to use for this video. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, spare you guys the time, and I'll be back. Alright guys, I'm back, and excuse the noise in the background. It's my space heater. My office is kind of cold, so you're just going to have to bear with me. So I've got all the images saved from the internet. So we go over to Add Media, and as you can see here, I've got the images, and I renamed them all in the order that I plan on using them in. So we got 1 through 18. So we're going to check mark each of these. And trying to hunt down all these images was a little difficult. But here we have them in the order that I plan on using them in. So now we're going to come down here, and I'm going to use my thumbnail for the opening. So we're going to just drag it down here. We're going to scroll, zoom in. We're going to just click on the edge here. See how it brings that up? We're going to extend it this way just a little bit. Just like that. And then I want it to kind of fade in. So we're going to go up here to the corner, and it says fade in offset. We're just going to bring it down to about there. Alright. So now I'm going to put my headset on so that I can listen to the audio track while I'm inputting the images. Between 1975 and 1979, anywhere between 5 and 15 young boys were murdered across Illinois, Kansas, and Nebraska near railroad tracks. Most of the boys were kidnapped and molested before they were murdered. This is the story of William Gotney, better known as Freight Train, the slayer of innocence.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything to scare your children. That's the last thing we want to do. We don't want to scare anybody.
So, see how my intro here has a number of images in the way. What you want to do for that is, let me scroll back out. You'll go up here to insert, and you'll do video track. For 2 images, you only need 2 video tracks. And you overlay, like say, we'll go back here. Say I wanted to bring in a couple pictures of his victims. Okay? So, let's go ahead and use a different picture. We'll use this one here. So, what I like to do with something like that is I'll fade it in and I'll fade it out. You don't have to do this, but it's something I like to do. Alright. And then, let's see, we want to maybe put it here. We don't want to cut off his picture. So we're going to right click. We're going to go into Video Event Pan Crop. We're going to right click on that. Match Output Aspect. Then we're going to bring it out. Okay. And then come over here to the arrow. Click it. Click it again. That way it only moves across, side to side. So now it's going to appear right there. So now you want to be careful when editing pictures. Wherever you have your cursor on the picture, that's where, if you right click, say you want to pan crop or add a video event effects, that's where it's going to start. So say you wanted to zoom in on his picture, and the cursor is right there. See, this is where the image starts, this is where it cuts out. So if you wanted it to start at the beginning, you're going to need to move that cursor all the way back to the beginning. And then what you'll do is you'll bring it all the way back to the end. Then you can zoom in. Now, since it's off to the side, we're going to have to move it. Keep zooming in as far as you want to. And we're going to bring it up a little bit to his eyes. Alright. Now, if, say, I wanted to have it stop earlier and hold on that for longer, I would just move this to wherever I wanted it to. See this dot here? I'd move it wherever I wanted it to stop at. So let me show you how that looks. Okay. This program likes to freeze up on me every now and then. So now, say I wanted it to look more like this, where it's picture in picture. You can very vaguely see the eyeball here. What you want to do is come back to the picture. See this center part? If you pull it down, see it says opacity 100%. You just pull it down to whatever opacity you like it at. So you got 0% all the way up to 100%. And that'll be true throughout the entire image. It's not going to be right where you click on it. So I don't want this actually in the that part of the video, so I'm going to go ahead and delete it. And we'll continue on. I'm going to start off with image number 1. We're going to extend that. Actually, let's see here. Do I want there to be an image across the entire background throughout the entire course of the video or not? Yeah, I think I do. So we're going to move that up to that one. We're going to bring in this image from the Freight Train Killer of the Innocent documentary. Right. And see how I made that overlap? Just like that. And I got it lined up to match with the audio. So we're going to zoom back out. Grab a hold of the edge. See how it says trim event end? We're just going to pull it all the way to the end there. Alright. So then I want it to slowly move throughout the course of the video. It's not going to be noticeable while you're watching the video, but over time you will notice, hey, the image kind of changed. So what you want to do is you want to right click on the image, go to event, video event, pan crop. We're going to match output aspect. And the reason my computer is kind of freezing up like that is because I've got this program running along with my screen recorder, which the screen recorder is right there. So it's going to do that from time to time. So did you see how I did that? I just grabbed the corner here where the dot is and I pulled it in. So now we're going to go back over here. We're going to bring it to move freely. There we go, just like that. And we're going to exit out. Zoom out, bring it all the way to the end, which you can do it in the program. It's easy the same way. Either way, it's just as easy. And then we're going to actually, we're gonna there we go, just like that. So that way okay, so now we want this picture to be on top. So anything above where your main video is going to be in front. So say if we're going to go ahead and do this. Insert video track. And grab this, pull it down here. So if I had, say, a picture here, it's not going to show up if this screen is filled. But if I bring this here, then I do this, see how they're layered? And we can go ahead and remove this track. We're not going to need it. So let's go ahead and continue on here. As I said, I've got my headphones in. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to hear the audio track or not. And I got my script brought up on my other computer so that I can follow along and match the images up with the audio. So let's begin. There isn't very much information online about this Slayer of Innocence, but what I was able to find and piece together was from Murderpedia, the Amazon Prime documentary Freight Train Slayer of Innocence, as well as the Murder Inquest report and a few newspaper articles. It should be noted that William Gottney, who is known as Freight Train, shouldn't be confused with the railroad killer, Angel Maturino Resendez, who murdered 15 men and women between 1986 and... There's one I forgot to get, so we're going to go over here. We're going to bring up Railroad Killer, Angel... There he is. Images... Alright. Just right click, save image as. Alright. That'll do. So then we go back to Movie Studio, Platinum 14. Let's just do this. Add media. There we go. And see, it showed up right there. All right. See how I'm fading that in? Didn't fade in. Right there. Alright, so now pan, bring this back to the beginning. We're going to match output aspect. Out. Bring it out a little bit more. There we go. Alright. Now we are going to bring that over to the side. Alright. And then, yeah, we will actually need another video track. And of course it's going to go do this. Video track. Alright. So that's what we want. I'm going to bring it to about here. Match output aspect. Alright. And we pull it over to this side. Right there. Exit. Alright. Now let's see here. We want to go back up to the top. And we're going to use that one. Right, we're going to extend that. Okay. Now here's one that, as you can see, it's like this. So again, you got to match output aspect. Got to extend it out. And then we're going to zoom in on it. In order to do that, we need to take this, bring it all the way here, and then we're going to pull it over here, up, go to the y-axis. That way it'll zoom in on his face. Alright, so now I'm going to cut this. I'll be back if I come across another editing technique tip to give you guys. Otherwise, it's just going to take forever if I've got to narrate over the top of it and have both programs going at the same time. So, I'll be back. Alright guys, so now we've got the video done. Now what I'm going to do is add the end screen, which for this is just a image, no audio or anything like that, and it's just something I created in Photoshop. And what you want is you want 20 seconds. That's the amount of time that YouTube gives for an end screen. So right here we have 6:10 up to 6:15 it looks like. So that's only 5 seconds. There's 15 seconds. So we need 5 more. I'm going to take it to about right there. Let's see if that's okay. Alright, now we've got that. Let's go ahead and bring this to about there. And fade it out. We're going to bring this to about right there, and we're going to fade it out. We're going to have an extended fade, so it's going to look something like, in fact, we're going to fade this in too. All right, so it's going to look something like this. And then the videos, once we go into the YouTube editor and create the end screen, the videos, recommended videos will show up there with my subscribe logo there. So now we are done with this video. It came in at 6 minutes 15 seconds. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to Make Movie. Also, something I forgot to mention is throughout the course of the editing process, you're going to want to save it. Otherwise, if by whatever reason your computer is similar to mine and it freezes up and closes this for whatever reason, you'll have it saved. So what you want to do for that during the course of the editing process, go up to Project, click on Save As. As you can see, I've already got it saved, but I'm going to go ahead and save it again. Yes. And it'll save as a Movie Studio project file. So then what you want to do is you want to make movie, save it to my hard drive. You want the AVCHD. Okay, go into Advanced Options. In fact, you know what? Before we do that, I need to add some background music to it. I completely forgot about that. So we're going to go into... There we go. We're going to cut it off right there. And we want to bring it into a new track because the volume for this, for the intro, is a little bit too loud. So we just, you can either drag it there or you can bring it down. In fact, let's redo that so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so we'll delete that. What you want to do is you just want to grab your audio track, your music, bring it down just below your last audio track. Set it. Okay. You can also go into Insert Audio Track and it'll do the exact same thing. What we want to do now is we want to go ahead and reduce the volume of the music so that it doesn't overpower the narration. So let me take a listen to this. There isn't very much information online about this Slayer of Innocence, but what I was able to find and piece together was from Murderpedia, the Amazon Prime documentary Freight Train Slayer of Innocence, as well as the Murder Inquest report and a few newspaper articles. It should be noted that William Gottney, who is known as Freight Train, shouldn't be confused with the rare... Alright, so we're going to do the same thing with this audio track that we did with the video tracks. We're going to fade it in. I'm going to fade this one out. Now, We want it to blend seamlessly, so we're going to overlap. Just like this. See how that sounds. And now if we want a specific song or part to be quieter, we just grab it, just like we did with the images, bring it down a little bit to kind of match up. There we go. Alright, now we're going to do the same thing with this one. And see how the wave format's a little bit higher? We're just going to bring that down to match it. Alright, now pause that. Bring it to the very end. We're going to separate it by splitting the track right here. So you've got lock, you've got split track, you've got trim end, you've got trim start. Now you could probably trim the end there, and that'll delete it as well. I usually go in split track, but now we got to delete this one as well. And again, my computer's kind of running a little bit slow because I've got multiple programs running at the same time. And we're going to fade this one out. Just like that. Alright. Now we got that going, looking good. And now let's go ahead and fade this part out as well. Alright. Perfect. Now we make movie. Go to save it to my hard drive. AVCHD, advanced options. You want internet 1920 by 1080 30p. As you can see, since you saved it already, the file name is already there. Then you just go into render, and it'll take, this will come up and it'll take a while for it to render. So that will be the end of this video. I will do more videos like this if you would like. And I also plan on doing some thumbnail editing videos, so you guys can see how I edit my thumbnails using Photoshop CS6. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share. Tune in again. Take care, guys.